For step 7, you are creating a spreadsheet that tells me about the startup costs that you have. All right, so in other words, what costs do you have that you need when you start your company? What you're going to do first is you're going to go to your Drive, go to your Shared with Me right here, and when you click on Shared with Me, you're going to see the file that says Startup Costs. Click on Startup Costs. Up here, go to File, click Make a Copy, and this will be your own copy. Where it says Copy Document, enter a new document name, enter your name, so Mr. Hui, and then Spreadsheet, and then click OK. And then a new document is going to show up. This is your spreadsheet. Once you're done with it, you're going to share it with me. So here's how you're going to do it. This spreadsheet has a bunch of different boxes that I've created for you already. All you need to do is think of what you need as you fill these in. First, what you're going to do right here in the yellow box is you are going to enter examples of fixed costs. Fixed costs, as you can remember, are costs that will never change regardless of how many of that product you make. If you make 10 of it or if you make 1,000 of it, you still have to pay the same fixed costs. An example of a fixed cost would be rent, right? If you make 1 product or you make 1,000 products, you still have to pay rent for your building. Description: rent for factory. Okay? So think of at least 10 examples. Think of at least 10 examples of fixed costs, give a description for each, and write down the cost per unit. So how much would rent be for each factory? You can research that online or just use a rough estimate. I'm going to say $100,000. All right? How many units? I need 2 factories. And it's going to calculate, as you can see here, the total cost for you automatically. Another fixed cost you might use might be your storefront. You might need a store for your shop. Okay? So this is my shoe store, for example. Okay? Cost per unit, the rent might be $50,000. All right? You have 1 unit, click enter, and this total cost is going to calculate for you. You're going to continue filling out this entire fixed cost section with at least 10 fixed costs. When you're done with that, you're then going to move on to the next one, variable costs. Remember, variable costs are the costs that will change depending on how many shirts you make or how many shoes you make. All right? So the more you make, probably the more money you're going to have to spend on making them. Examples of variable costs might be fabric, right? If you make a lot of this thing, you're going to need more fabric. All right, so fabric, leather for shoes. Cost per unit produced. How much is leather going to cost for 1 shoe? I'm going to say around $2. Okay? And you're going to keep going. Where it says units produced here in blank, you're going to leave that blank for now. Okay? Next, think of more variable costs. Again, in this section, you need at least 10 examples. Think of more variable costs. Machines, right? If you make more, machines are going to cost more, right? If you make 10 shoes, you might need 1 machine. If you make 10,000 shoes, you might need more machines. Okay, so I'm going to say sewing machines. Okay, and it's going to cost me around $100 per unit produced. Okay, so I'm going to need $100 in costs for a sewing machine. Keep going. Type in 10 different examples of variable costs and tell me how much each piece is going to be. Next, leave this black space blank and then click on the bottom right here. In this bottom box, you get to play around with how many units you want to make. If you want to make 10, type in 10 right here, click enter, and the numbers will show all here 10. All right? If you want to make 10,000, type it in here, and these will all change to 10,000, and you can see the total cost here will change. All right, because you can see here the cost per unit is $2 times 10,000 units means $20,000. Okay, so when you're done with variable cost, you need 10 examples here. You can keep playing around with the different units produced. 5, the costs are going to change. Okay, when you're done with that, you're going to move on here. All right, to calculating the total cost. The total cost, remember we learned this in class, is the fixed cost plus the variable cost equals the total cost. Okay? This spreadsheet was already made for you. You can see here, as the different numbers of units produced changes, your total cost will be different. Okay? So if you make 10, this is your total cost. If you make 1,000,000, this is your total cost. All right, and you can see here how your total cost per unit changes. All right, for every piece of whatever product you're making, how the total cost changes. Okay, so what you're going to do here, the fixed cost you don't need to change because the fixed cost, as you can see, is the same from here, and it's transferred to right here. That the computer will do for you already. What you need to change here is the variable cost. All right, and you need to enter that yourself. For example, after you finish this chart right here in blue, you're going to see how much it costs to make 10. All right, it costs $1,020 to make 10. Then right here, because this is 10 pieces, you're going to write 1020 under variable cost. Okay, go back to here. You need 100. Enter 100, and this is going to change. It's going to cost you 10,200. All right. So enter this number where it says 100. Enter this number for variable cost, 10200. All right. And you can see your total cost will change. Let's use the next example. Let's go up to 1,000,000. All right. If you're going to make 1,000,000, you're going to come back to here to variable cost. Type in 1,000,000. And you'll see that this is your total cost. Okay, and you're going to enter this back where it says 1,000,000, look over to variable cost, and enter this right here. Okay, and it's going to say 102000000. All right, and so here you're going to see the different variable costs, and you can see the different total costs right here. Once you enter all of these, you're then going to be able to play with your profits. Okay, so this table now tells you how much it costs to make each piece, all right, and the total cost per unit. You want to try to find the lowest total cost per unit, right? Per piece of what you're making, which one is the cheapest. So you can see here, it's cheapest to make 100,000 pieces. It's only $4.50, right? When you get to 1,000,000, it becomes more. So try to find the one, which one is the cheapest total cost per unit, and what's the best number of the product you want to make. Next, you're then going to go to calculating profits. You don't need to do anything, any kind of calculation here. All you need to do for calculating profits now, enter different prices per unit. All right, if you make, let's say you want to charge them $150. This is going to tell you how much profit you're going to make. All right, if you want to charge them $150 here, this is going to tell you how much profit you're going to make. Okay, so what this is looking at this, if you charge them $150 and you make 10 pieces, charging them at $150, you are going to make minus $449,000. So you're going to lose a lot of money, right? But if you charge them $150 and you make, looking across, 10,000 pieces, looking across back here, you would make over $14 million. All right, so you know that you're going to make money if you charge them $150 and you make 100,000 pieces. Okay, so you need to look across on this graph right here, and you can keep playing with it, right? You can charge them $15 and you'll see you'll still make money. All right, you'll charge them $1 and then you'll lose money, right? You can charge them $500 and you can see how much money you're making. All right, so keep playing around with the prices and how the prices change. And what you're going to do at the end is, after you decide on your prices, you're going to tell me what is the best price you're going to charge people at. All right, how much do you want to charge people for each unit? And then looking across here, how much do you want to make? All right, do you want to make 10 pieces only? Do you want to make 1,000,000 pieces? Okay, which one is the best number for you? And also look at what is the best price to charge them, right? If you charge everyone $50 at any point, right, you'll see if you make 1,000,000 pieces right here and you charge them $50, you're going to lose a lot of money. There's a minus sign, right? But if you charge them $50 and you're selling at 10,000 pieces, 100,000 pieces, charging at $50, you're going to make a lot of money. All right, so you're going to decide, looking at this chart, how much you're going to sell each product at. It might be a little confusing and you might have to watch this video again, but keep watching it and you're going to be able to figure out how much, this is the most important part, how much you're going to charge them and how many pieces you're going to make.